So this is my first video I have uploaded to YouTube. I've had this account for a while. I used it for COD clips because I used to play Call of Duty when I was a little neek. So I'm going to take those off. I think they're still on this YouTube at the time of posting. I'm going to delete them because no one wants to see me playing a video game. Anyway, in today's video I'm going to be discussing the supplements I take as well as the benefits. I have got, this is my version of a script, as well as I've written down just some general notes to keep me up to scratch, like, because I know the benefits of what I'm taking, however having it all in front of me is sort of helpful. I've literally written it prior to recording, so it's all fresh. So yeah, in today's video, the supplements I'm currently taking as well as the benefits of these supplements I think you should take regardless of this. By the way, these supplements are for sports, performance, general health and wellness, as well as muscle maintenance. That's what I'm taking them for, and that's also why I'll be suggesting some supplements to you later in the video. In addition, I'll be discussing very briefly, I'm going to do separate videos on this, and I'm also going to break down each of these supplements in separate videos. However, for today's videos, all intents and purposes, I'm simply going to discuss why a varied, balanced diet is important, because, well, I'll get into that now. You can't supplement a shit diet. If you're eating processed foods, lots of seed oils, just low quality junk, and you're trying to take other stuff to balance it out, that's not how that works. Your body needs fuel, it needs nutrition, it needs real food consistently to be able to utilize these beneficial compounds that come from plants, animals. All these supplements are derived from different sources. However, you need good quality food going in so that your body can use these supplements, because you're supplementing your good diet. Why go to the gym and train and buy these supplements if you're going to eat like shit? What are you going to get out of that? Oh, maybe the pizza won't do me too bad. Well, it will do you too bad because it's just full of nonsense. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about just, the dangers of processed food or whatever. I'm going to get into the video. So, supplements I take. Let's start at the start. So, in front of me here, I've got half a pint of coconut water and maybe 125 of beetroot juice. I've been to the gym this morning. I literally drank a coffee with 2 scoops of honey in it, spoons of honey prior to going to the gym, just for caffeine, and simple sugars. Also ate some homegrown fruit on the way to the gym because simple sugars, it's not going to hurt. And it's not a lot on my stomach. I like to exercise with very little on my stomach. I'll eat straight afterwards. High protein, high carbs, high fats. You know how it goes. So we've got this drink here. I'll be taking my supplements with this drink. With that, I mix in. So we'll start at the start. Fish oils. So fish oils are an excellent source of omega-3. They are important for the development of your eye and brain. They're also good for reproductive cells. So this can be your gametes, like, genuine like sex cells, your sperm, as well as like female eggs. In addition, good for heart and lung health. Apologies, my own handwriting is actually quite difficult to read at times. So the immune as well as our muscular systems and the hormone system as well. So endocrine system just regulates everything in your body. So, for example, if you have a high spike in adrenaline, regulates your heart rate and your breathing rate, things like that. So omega-3 is great for genuine. All of these supplements not only do they cross over for things like muscle maintenance and bone maintenance, they also cross over for things like hormones, because your body is very complex. There's lots of moving parts, there's lots of requirements and processes you don't really think about that are going on a daily basis to keep you up and running. And the more you optimize your diet and your supplementation, the better your body will function. Next one I'm going to discuss is vitamin D. Now, this is one of the 2 that I would recommend to anyone who does any form of sport, exercise, anything. Vitamin D is it's just an essential supplement, essential vitamin. So it's good for the maintenance of your bones, as well as the absorption slash retention of calcium. Vitamin K2, which I'm going to discuss shortly, that is also, this by the way, is the fish oil I use. I forgot to use it as a prop. It's got added vitamin D, but I also supplement vitamin D separately. So it's a vitamin D complete that I'm taking by Barefoot Nutrition. Got it on Amazon, does the job, comes in a nice little glass bottle. Comes with, so just vitamin D3, zinc, boron, magnesium, and K2. I didn't actually research magnesium here, but you can find the benefits online. All of this here that I've written down is not in absolute depth. I've covered the main benefits of taking the supplements. There's lots of research and studies that I could have looked at. However, I didn't want to be all day making this video. I've got stuff I'm going to focus on afterwards. It's just 4:10. I've got a few more things to do today, so I didn't want to spend like hours and hours researching everything vitamin D does. Just the general, the bits you need to know just to understand why you're taking things, not necessarily every single known benefit, as well as, okay, for example, so if you take too much creatine, which I'm again going to discuss very shortly, take too much creatine, you can end up with things like kidney stones. Just don't take too much, not a problem. Yeah, immune and muscle function. Vitamin D is also vital for those two things. You want your immune system to work and you want your muscles to work, so vitamin D3 is a no-brainer. And you might be thinking, well, Taylor, I get sunlight. Chances are you probably don't get enough. And even if you do, how much of your skin is really exposed? Because if it's a sunny day but it's a bit chilly in autumn, you've probably got a jumper on, so great. Your face, maybe your neck and your hands, awesome. You're not going to be getting your recommended intake. Your body's not going to be able to synthesize enough, or at least an optimal amount. It helps with your sleep as well, helps regulate all sorts of things in your body. You're not going to be getting enough sunlight unless you're in a very hot country, getting sun all the time. So I recommend supplementing it. Next one I'll discuss is vitamin K2, which is again in this multivitamin, vitamin D thing here. It's important for the absorption of calcium, as is vitamin D, as well as regulating blood clots. So if you, again, I'm just going to mansplain this. If you cut your arm open, you don't want your blood to keep pissing out and gushing everywhere because your body can't clot its blood properly with platelets. You need your blood to be able to clot. Obviously, blood clots are bad, and if you get one in the brain, you'll probably die. So you don't want that. But what you do want is your body to be able to stop bleeding if you have a wound. That's where K2 comes in. Next is zinc. This one has loads of benefits when I was looking into it, so I just tried to really shorten it down. So the immune function / T cells. So when you have pathogens in your body, T cells like to break them down so that they can't wreak havoc. They're essentially the white blood cells, they're very important in your immune function. They keep you from not getting poorly. Very good. In addition, zinc has anti-inflammatory properties, reduces inflammation, speaks for itself. It's good for skin and wound repair, which means you heal faster, and it's good for just general skin health. I don't know why I touched my face, I've got skin all over me, but that's the skin that came to mind. As well as its importance for fertility, especially male fertility. Well, I don't even know about especially, but I've heard, being a man, I've looked more into male fertility than female fertility. Forgive me if that's got a level of bias to it, but I just feel it's more applicable, much more applicable. As well as, yes, importance for sperm parameters. So this can include things like sperm quality, sperm volume, sperm density, all of these measures of the quality of your sperm, as well as, that's going to entail how fertile you are. You may not be of an age where you're worried about this sort of thing. Hopefully you never have to worry about this sort of thing. However, it's an important thing to know that zinc helps with your fertility. If you want kids, focus on your fertility. Especially in today's day and age, I'll make separate videos on this. Some YouTubers and just people I know have discussed these issues because it's a big problem. Fertility it's going to be a real big issue as we move forward, and all these chemicals keep being used, plastics, pesticides, herbicides, all of these horrible things. I'll do separate videos on this. Other people have as well. Feel free to look into it on other people's channels. because educating yourself on things that disrupt your hormones as well as your fertility is a good thing to do, especially if you want kids. If you don't want kids, you might not be bothered, but I'm sure you want... Okay, so go back to zinc. I'm sure you'd like your immune system to work, unless you want to get poorly, in which case watch a different video. Boron, which is another one included in this D3 combination. I actually bought this D3 with the intent of only taking vitamin D. It's just helpful that it comes with these other vitamins, and I'm also going to discuss the sources further in the video. So boron is great for bone maintenance, wound healing, utilization of testosterone as well as estrogen, utilization of vitamin D, as well as absorption of magnesium. Magnesium I haven't researched in this bit here. I couldn't tell you what it's good for. However, it would be a good one to guess that it's good for bodily functions. Again, that's what the majority of these vitamins and minerals are good at, bodily functions. Bodily functions cover such a, you know, vague, vast... Bodily functions covers essentially everything I'm discussing in detail, so like muscles and bones, things like that. Yeah, that's that one out of the way. Taking ashwagandha at the moment. This is an adaptogen, meaning it helps your body regulate its stress hormone, cortisol. I don't find I'm a rather stressed person. In fact, I like to pride myself in not being too stressful and understanding how to just calm myself down and relax in stressful situations and managing my stress to try and utilize it for good. For example, if I've got a deadline, I'm going to use my stress to meet my deadline, not to panic and then, you know, freeze up and then procrastinate and make myself more stressed and just get in a vicious cycle. I've learned to just manage my stress. But some ashwagandha, I feel like I've forgotten to use the props. Sorry, I haven't actually gone through any other than that vitamin D. Yeah, so ashwagandha is great for just helping your body when it's stressed, because cortisol, your body releases cortisol all the time. It's a hormone that's meant to be there. You even get elevated levels once you've exercised, or even during exercise, you get elevated levels of cortisol. It's not a problem, healthy amounts, but once you've got chronic stress, you know, chronic levels of cortisol, it will mess your body up, mess your health up. It's been associated with reduced lifespan. These sort of things we want to be able to manage, and supplements are great, but also, you know, if you're feeling you stressed, I'd also recommend mindfulness, just relaxation techniques in general. The next one I'm going to discuss is creatine. All I've written down for this is energy production. I study sport course, so they drilled this stuff into you. This stuff, you don't really need to supplement it, especially if you're eating a diet that is rich in red meats. It's found in not only like human muscles, but animal, like cow muscles. I'm just using cow as an example of red meat. You've also got lamb, venison, you name it. So, creatine gets converted by the body. It's not a massively long process, but I'm not going to explain it in this video. Creatine gets converted into ATP, which is the only form of usable energy within the body. So we store creatine in our muscles, and when we need it, it gets converted straight into usable energy. And we tend to use this energy system. There's different energy systems. If you don't know about this, it's not like something you need to know about. But for the phosphocreatine ATP energy system, you essentially take that stored creatine, convert it, and use it straight away. We tend to do that with intense lifts. So if you're doing maybe a set of 2 to 5 on any compound move, or even like some really difficult bicep curls, if you're going for it, you're likely going to be using your creatine stores as an energy source. You will also be anaerobically, in absence of oxygen, burning or using glucose. That will be another energy thing that's being used at the time. Back to the supplements. Collagen. That's this one. So this is a bovine or cow collagen. It's derived, I believe, from the hides, but it also could just be the offcuts. It's not an entirely pleasant one to think about, you know, oh, powdered cow. Doesn't sound great, but it's the same as with whey protein is just powdered milk, which is essentially cow juice. It's kind of the same ballpark. Now, I'll actually show you this one on the back because it is really high in just... These are all amino acids. You can... Probably can't see that. But, yeah, it says... it hasn't got the reference intake, so I can't tell you, oh, it's, you know, got 30% of your... I can't even read some of these. Glycine, right? I couldn't tell you what percentage of glycine it is per serving. However, it's very rich in amino acids that you don't normally get. Yes, this is the thing about collagen, right? I'm just discussing the cow-derived note that I've written down next to it. It's rich in amino acids, which are proteins that you don't typically get from the meat. It's typically in the skin, as well as the joints, tendons, ligaments. So, when I say joints, I meant the other two. Like, anyway, it's typically in those, and it's still, you know, all these amino acids are found in the meats and stuff, but they're not in these kinds of quantities. That's why supplementing it can be helpful to get enough of the certain amino acids you'll be missing when you're only eating meats and not having... Yeah, because when you cook up a steak, you're cooking the muscle. You're not going to go out of your way to eat like it's full on, the cow's full on joints, right? We don't really do that. Obviously, if you have your own animals and stuff, maybe if you even cook a whole chicken, or if you cook a whole lamb leg, then excellent. You're going to get some connective tissue in your diet, and your body will process that and get all those amino acids out of it, utilize them, and you're going to have stronger joints, which is what I was just getting onto. So skin elasticity, just general skin health, it's great for that. Muscle maintenance, it's amino acids, it's proteins. Your body's going to use that to repair the muscles after you train, also just to maintain your muscles in general. It can also help with arthritis. We're getting there, don't worry. So the last two supplements I'm taking at the moment, I heard about these on an Andrew Huberman podcast. I forgot how to pronounce podcast then. So one is called Fedoja agrestis, comes in this nice pretty little bottle. These are both roots, so they're plant compounds. So I haven't done a massive amount of research on these two, because I wasn't going to go into much. Yeah, so they're high in flavonoids and other plant compounds, that's what the bottle says. Essentially, its main uses that I've got it for is just general testosterone production, which is an important hormone for overall male health as well as muscle mass. If you want to get big and look strong and feel nice in your body, you want a higher testosterone. Supplementing with something to improve it, I think it's a win-win, you know, because not many people have got Fedoja agrestis powder in their food. It's difficult to... As I say, I'm going to discuss the sources very shortly. I said these 3-4 times. Supplements here, they're more of a like specific kind of supplement. They're not something you get in a general diet. They are a supplement. You're supplementing that to your whole food, healthy, high protein, high fat, high carb diet, and you're taking that on top to help your body to use everything you're feeding it to improve, to build, to get bigger, to get better. Next one I'll discuss... Oh, yeah, so testosterone as well as genital blood flow, they kind of go hand in hand. If you've got more blood going down there, to save you the nitty-gritty details, I'm not really sure on YouTube's kind of parameters on what I'm supposed to and not supposed to say. I mean, I've sworn like 3 times in this video. I'm not sure if that's something you can really do. I've seen other people swear in their videos. I'm not really fussed. It's not the end of the world. If you're getting more blood flow down there, if you're a guy, put 2 and 2 together. It's probably not going to hurt, is it? Last one that I'm taking currently. By the way, I've been on all of these supplements here for 3 weeks. Prior to that, I was simply just taking creatine, and I've taken other ones before. Again, all things I can discuss in separate videos. However, these are the ones I'm taking now. I'm going to give you reasons as well as some sources, natural sources you can get these from should you not want to take the supplements, or if you just want to know where they come from. Tonkat Ali is yeah, I limited my research on these because I watched a podcast on it. I haven't retained all the information. However, I retained enough to encourage me to buy it. Tonkat Ali is great for testosterone as well as general fertility. That's what I've got written down. Feel free to do your own research. In fact, I'd thoroughly encourage it, especially if you're considering buying supplements, improving, changing anything about your diet. You need to research what you're doing, what you're adding, and why. Now, natural sources. Starting with fish oil, quite literally in the name. However, the benefit of the fish oil is the omega-3. I believe it contains omega-6s as well, but we're not really so concerned about that. Omega-3 is the ones we're looking for. Don't, like, villainize me and say, oh, you need omega-6 for... Cool, great. That's for omega-3. So you can find that in things like chia seeds, or fish is just a great one. It's there. Top of my head, hemp seeds. Yep, that's a great one. So hemp seeds, chia seeds, as well as seeds are a great one for vitamins and minerals. You should definitely add seeds to your diet. When I take my supplements, I try to do it. So I never take them on an empty stomach. I normally do them straight after breakfast, but I breakfast a little while. So in here, I've got some nuts and seeds. I'll tell you what's in there in a second. So, yes. Fish oil, omega-3. Get it from either fish or from chia seeds and hemp seeds. There's other sources as well. Again, do your own research. Vitamin D, you're mainly going to be getting that from either egg yolks or you can get it from seaweed. However, not many people eat a vast amount of seaweed, so we're not going to really count on you guys getting your vitamin D from that. The main one being sunlight. Now, direct sunlight exposure for a few hours a day. You know, let's say you've got your shirt off, maybe you're in shorts, and you're doing that for 4 hours, your body's going to synthesize a good amount of vitamin D. It won't hurt, especially during the winter or cloudy days, or maybe you've got an office job. All these scenarios where you're not getting a lot of sun, your body still needs that vitamin D. You still need to use and absorb that calcium. Just take a supplement. I think vitamin D is the main one I'd recommend because it helps with a lot of bodily functions, and it's just a simple one that if you're not getting enough sunlight, it won't hurt. Sources of K2. My research has not extended so far as to figure out where to get K2 from. This is my first video. I've done a pretty... There's effort. What I'm trying to get at is I haven't done a really, in-depth amount of research for this. I just want to discuss the supplements I'm taking and, what they do, where you can get them. Honestly, if you're not getting your K2 from one of these, you're likely getting it elsewhere. I have a feeling a really generic one I can make for you is egg yolks. There will be some in an egg yolk, K2. You'll find your K vitamins elsewhere. Again, guys, I do encourage you to do your own research. I'm by no means a professional. I'm just relaying some information I pulled up in half an hour to do this video. Here we go. Zinc. You can get zinc in animal products, meat, eggs. I don't know about dairy. I couldn't tell you about dairy. However, one plant seed source, which is great for this stuff, is the Humble, when I can pick one up, pumpkin seed. So pumpkin seeds are a good source of zinc. Zinc, as we said, is great for your immune function, anti-inflammatory properties, great for your skin and wound repair, as well as fertility, especially general sperm parameters, just, the amount of sperm per milliliter, the quality of your sperm, all related and heavily influenced by getting enough zinc. If you're not getting a lot of zinc, you'll have shit sperm. That's the hard pill to swallow. Boron, another one I have not looked into the sources for. I couldn't tell you. It'll be in some stuff. I know that's so unhelpful, and you're probably thinking, oh, well, this guy knows his stuff. I know some things. I don't know where you can get boron from. Ashwagandha, very specific. It's a plant. So if you're not eating that plant, you're not getting those compounds. If you want to add it to your diet, you can get it in powdered form, capsule form. I'm sure if you live in India, especially places in Asia, you'll be able to find it in a market stall, have it fresh, cut it up into your food. I was about to say into your into your Indian food, but I didn't want to generalize. So you can cut it up and put it into your food should you like to. Creatine, as we discussed, it's found within muscles. The main thing you're going to be getting creatine from is either a supplement. Your body makes it naturally. It's not like if you're vegan and you're thinking, or even if you're vegetarian, if you're thinking, oh, I don't eat any red meat muscles and my body can't get creatine, I can't lift weights. That's not how it works. You still make it. You're using other things to make it in your body. You make it naturally. However, supplementing it or eating enough red meat is not going to go amiss. You know, if you're literally adding what your body uses as fuel, as a supplement, you know, common sense will tell you you're getting more fuel. Collagen comes from cows as well as found, you know, naturally in your body, and fish, like fish skin, meat. You get collagen in meat, especially in things like skin and like eating the skin and the joints, the connective tissues of the animals, which wouldn't be very pleasant to eat. I can't imagine. I've not eaten many ligaments in my time, but based on pure assumptions, I can't imagine it's the most pleasant of experiences. And the last two that I'll discuss the sources for, Phaedogia agrestis and Tonka Ali, they're both root powders. They're both plant-derived supplements I'm taking in capsule form, but there's obviously powder in the capsules. So that powder is powdered plants. If you're not eating those plants, you're not getting those compounds. As with the ashwagandha, I missed one. I actually have missed one. Now I think about it, I don't know how I've missed this off the list. Last one I'll discuss. I haven't done the research for this, so I'm just going to do it off memory. Turmeric powder. I feel as though you would have probably liked to know how much of these I'm taking as well. You can tell this is it's not even a very disorganised video, it's just a first video. We're not going to get a massive amount of quality here. Turmeric powder is great for joint health, anti-inflammatory properties. Yeah, those are the only two I can really name for you. Turmeric's good for those two things. If you want strong joints and you want your body to be less inflamed, turmeric. So, quantities I take of these. On the bottles of these, it recommends you can take one to 2 of the Phaedogia agrestis and 1 to 3 of the Tonka Ali. Serving... Yeah, so per serving, you get 600 milligrams of Phaedogia agrestis, as well as there's piperine, which is from black pepper. That helps with the absorption and the utilization of the Phaedogia agrestis. I believe when I was taking capsule turmeric, it also had pepper in there as well, because that does just help your body to use some of these plant compounds more quickly and effectively. As with these, per capsule you get 500 milligrams of Tonka Ali root. So the studies that Huberman discussed, can't remember which. I believe one was 400 milligrams in the study and one was 600 milligrams in the study. Of which one I can't remember. I recommend watching that podcast if you're interested in taking either of those two supplements. But that's the amount I'm taking. I'm taking one. Yeah, I'm taking one of each. So there's three little capsules there. One of each of those, as well as I only need one of the vitamin D daily capsules. I eyeball my supplements. I'm not super precise and like measuring things. Roughly 5 mils gives you a dose. There's the suggested amount, 5 mil. Creatine, take anywhere between, I think it's 2 to 5 grams. However, the serving suggestion on here is 3. I eyeball 3. It's like a little bit of a teaspoon. collagen, suggested amount is 20 grams per serving. I take 3 heaped over teaspoons and call it a day. This is just me, by the way. If you want to measure out your supplements, I recommend that because you know exactly what you're getting. I'm just giving my body the compounds in varying amounts each day, the way nature intended, seeing how we get on. Ashwagandha, recommended you take anywhere between, here it says 3 to 6. I've heard up to 5 grams a day. That suggests 3 to 6. Again, I do a similar thing with the creatine. Put a bit on a teaspoon, bang it in. As long as you're not taking too much, you'll be fine. Turmeric, I take a heaped over teaspoon. Not ridiculous, not as much as the collagen heaped over, but a heaped over teaspoon. That way you're getting enough that it's actually doing the job. Quick benefits of the juice that I discussed at the start of the video. So, coconut water, high in electrolytes and vitamin C. Vitamin C is great for, you can't get it from animal things. You need to get it from fruit mainly. You can get it in vegetables as well, but fruit's the good one. So, coconut water. Vitamin C, bodily function, reduces fatigue, general immune function. All bodily function tends to cover these sorts of topics because there's so much you've got going on, immune systems, endocrine systems. Bodily function is gonna suffice as far as explanations go. Beetroot juice, high in iron, copper, I think magnesium, which is one we discussed earlier. Yeah, and dietary nitrates. So it converts into nitric oxide, which then essentially helps your blood vessels to dilate, which then improves blood flow all over the body. It's been shown in various studies to improve aerobic performance because you've got increased blood flow through the widened arteries. That covers that. Okay. All I'm going to say now, I believe if you go to this sort of extent and you're taking 4, 5, 6 supplements, how many have I actually got? 7, yeah, about 7 supplements. We're not including the beetroot juice and the coconut water in that 7. So if you're taking a fair amount of supplements, you should have a good diet. You cannot out-train a poor diet. You can't out-supplement a good diet. You can't out-sleep a poor diet. If your diet is poor, and what I class as poor is pretty brutal. If you're getting... So, at the bottom tier, we're talking like you're eating literal shit. Is like takeaways, ultra-processed foods, low amounts of whole foods, right? So the more processed stuff and the less whole food sources you've got, the worse your diet. Things like, chocolate, highly processed, chicken nuggets, highly processed, loads of stuff's processed, dude. Bread's processed. If you go into the shop now, you don't just find that bread contains wheat, I'm thinking gluten, but that's the protein that... No. You get bread. Why? What? I made bread, bro. Why do I not? Yeast. Thank goodness. So, if you walk into a shop, you should expect that your bread contains flour, yeast, water, pinch of salt, maybe some seeds. You want that. My dogs are barking. I believe someone's home. The less ingredients typically is better. Obviously, if you've got something with loads of ingredients, but all the ingredients aren't going to wreak havoc, that's fine. And you've got one thing that's got 2 ingredients, but one of them is like potassium sorbate. You don't need that. You're going to find that in nature. It's a artificial preservative. As I'm saying, taking all these supplements is all well and good, and I advise other people to supplement their diets, but I also advise, just from a not even necessarily a sports performance standpoint, but just health and wellness standpoint, having a good diet is going to help all across the board. It will help your cognitive function, it will help your mood, it will help your sleep, your overall enjoyment. Your body is your vessel. It's how you experience the world. If you're maintaining it and looking after it, and you're supplementing it and giving it all the good stuff, giving it a nice diet and all that stuff, You can experience the world in a nicer way. You can walk for further. You can climb a tree. You can do all that good stuff. I'm going to conclude the video now because my dog's going to continue to bark. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a nice 35 minutes. I'm going to see what level of editing I can really do. Probably not a lot. We'll give it a go. I'm going to try and have a look. Some people like timestamp their videos. I've genuinely never done none of this. So we're going to see how we get on. Thanks for watching. I'll meet you in the next one.